And I don't know how I didn't own this. I could have sworn I owned this. I'm pretty sure I loaned it out to somebody and they stole it. Hi guys, Kidru64 here, and today we're going to be talking about my pickups for Black Friday. That's right, it's another collection update. And while this year overall was less than any Black Friday I've had in the past, actually, it actually was, that still doesn't mean that I didn't get a pretty good haul. So here's some of the stuff you'll be looking at right here. So I'm looking forward to sharing all that stuff with you. For physical media collectors, I think this Black Friday was indicative of what's been happening every year, which is physical media, Blu-rays, 4Ks. The sales are just not that good. Every year they're worse. There were some good 4Ks that were on sale for $10 this year, which were pretty decent. But overall, there really wasn't anything that stood out as this is a great deal. This is a must pick up, because most of the stuff that I already want, I've already bought. So maybe I'm a special case. I don't know. I think that this overall Black Friday was kind of disappointing as far as what was on sale and the price points that they put out there. But like I said, I still got some good stuff. And most of this I got before Black Friday, because for some reason this year, and I think last year was similar to this too, a lot of the physical media sales happened the week prior to Black Friday. Most of what I got, I actually ordered online and got it before Black Friday. So they're early Black Friday deals. And that Black Friday, by the time Black Friday rolled around, there really wasn't anything special to it, because those sales had already been up for the weeks prior. So overall, I'd say this Black Friday was kind of a mixed bag, I think. And I have a bad feeling that next year is going to be worse in regards to physical media and the kind of sales you're going to find. And it's kind of a downward trend that I don't see reversing. But regardless, I do want to support physical media in any way that I can. One of those ways is to make videos like this and say, hey, this is what I got. And if you guys are out there and you've got some good stuff and you want to start a YouTube channel, or you have a YouTube channel and want to share some of the haul that you got, and just really like put physical media out there, I am 100% for that. And I encourage it. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into my collection. First thing I got was really not a Black Friday sale per se, but there is a location that sells used movies around me, and they had something that I've been looking for years and years and years and years, and that was Band of Brothers, the 10. I guess you could call it a steelbook, but it's a 10, and this is an amazing pen, and I have wanted this for so long. I held out on buying the physical media of Band of Brothers because I wanted this 10. I really wanted it. Part of the reason was I had the Pacific, which was the sequel to Band of Brothers. I have had this for years, and I really wanted the accompaniment of Band of Brothers. Both of these were kind of series that go together, I would say. They were both produced by Tom Hanks for HBO, and they're both great series if you've never seen them, especially if you're into World War II stuff or war movies or anything like that, and you've never seen these. Highly recommend it. There are very different series as far as kind of the feel to them. Obviously, the Pacific deals with more of the Pacific theater, and the Band of Brothers deals with Europe. So, but I've owned Band of Brothers on digital for a little while. Well, I guess about 5 years. Been longer than a little while, 5 or 6 years. This is actually my first time owning it on physical media, and I got this used. As I said, the discs are in great shape, which I was very happy with. I don't know why anybody would trade in their Band of Brothers, but hey, I am glad you did, because that meant that I got it. Now, getting into like the core of my Black Friday pickups, first thing we'll talk about is Justice Society World War II. I didn't see this prior to buying it. I actually watched it last week, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. As far as like the DC animated movies, they've kind of gone downhill, which is part of the reason I haven't bought as many as I did when they first came out. I do own the majority of the animated movies that they've put out. I'd say probably about 80 to 85% of the animated movies I own physically, and maybe I'll do a video on those one day, but I did like this. I thought it was pretty good. It could have been a little bit better. But in comparison to the more recent DC animated stuff, I'd say in the last couple years, I would say this was definitely in the upper echelon of what they had put out. So I like this. It was a pretty good deal. I got it for $10, I want to say, at Best Buy. It might have been $7, but either way, good deal. It just released this year, so that was a pretty good deal. This I was pretty excited to pick up, which is Love and Monsters. This was on Hulu. I checked it out on Hulu, and I love this movie. As far as movies that were released that people should check out that are original, you should check this out. This is a very good movie. It's very fun. It is original. It's not based on anything, which is nice. And I wanted the 4K, but the 4K was sold out, so I ended up getting the Blu-ray instead. I would have liked to get the 4K because I think this movie definitely would have looked great in 4K. As I said, I watched it on streaming. It's still in the wrapping. I haven't opened it up yet. But I am looking forward to rechecking this one out. Again, I watched this on Hulu, so if you guys are interested in checking this out and you have Hulu, I would recommend it. But even more than that, I would recommend buying it to support this because the sequel may or may not happen, and it'd be nice to see one. I do recommend Love and Monsters, obviously. As far as Christmas movies, I picked up one Christmas movie this year, which is unusual, but it's one I was surprised I didn't own. I thought that I had owned it. I guess it must have been DVD. Usually I watch Christmas movies over with my folks, and they have a DVD player. We watch usually DVDs. Their TV's not the greatest, so it doesn't matter about the pixel quality. But this is still in the wrapping, and that is the Santa Claus, one of the best Santa Claus movies. And you know, this movie still holds up. The sequels are very much family-friendly kid fare, I would say. Whereas this, I feel like, is a little bit more, the whole family can enjoy it. There's some stuff for adults in this movie to enjoy, so where you're not just bored out of your mind. I think this is a really good movie. Like I said, it holds up. Tim Allen is really good in this movie. I really wish Tim Allen would be in more movies. He seems like he's not in as many movies as he used to be. I guess part of that is he's getting older. I don't really know. But regardless, Santa Claus, I recommend it. Yeah, I picked this up. It was only like $6. Great pickup. They had the trilogy for like $15 on Black Friday, but I decided to just get the one for $6 because the chances of me watching the other two on my own, fairly minimal. The second one wasn't too bad. Third one, no, not so much. This I picked up. This was something I enjoyed as a kid immensely, and that was Jetsons the movie. This was one of the only VHSs we owned. You know, growing up, we didn't have a whole lot of money, so we didn't have a whole lot of movies that we actually owned. It was a special occasion when we got to go to Blockbuster and rent from all their vast library of movies. But the movies that we did own, which again, not too many of them, got rewatched and rewatched and rewatched. I watched Jetsons the movie so much as a kid that the tape demagnetized. There's a couple of movies I own that's what happened. Home Alone 2 was one of them as well. But I have not watched this in a decade or more. It's been a very long time since I watched this movie. I didn't own it on DVD, so I have not checked it out since I got the Blu-ray, but I am looking forward to it. This movie actually had some CGI in it. I actually talked about this Blu-ray release earlier this year when I first started doing release videos, and I never picked it up when it did release, but I picked it up for Black Friday. It was a pretty good sale. I don't remember what I paid for. I think it was about $10, which to me is definitely worth it. This I picked up for $5, and I don't know how I didn't own this. I could have sworn I owned this. I'm pretty sure I loaned it out to somebody and they stole it. They never returned it. That's why you never loan out physical media to your friends, because they're going to keep it. They're going to keep it, especially if it's not on streaming services. That's more than likely the only reason they're going to borrow it from you in the first place. But just a quick hint. What's on the door back there? Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It may be cut off on the screen, but Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is a really good movie. That poster behind me is from Blockbuster, my time at Blockbuster. I have tons of merchandising ads and stuff like that from my time at Blockbuster. I even did a video just detailing one box, but I have way more than what I did in that video. But I decided to put that on the door back there. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is a really good movie. I was holding out to see if maybe a 4K would come out. As far as I looked into it, I didn't see any announcements for a 4K. At least nothing that made me think that a 4K was going to come out. So I was like, fine, $5. I'll rebuy this again on Blu-ray. Really fun action movie. Next up is Hell or High Water. I haven't opened this up yet. I got it on 4K. This was on sale for $8, $7.99. It's a pretty good deal. I have not watched it since it first came out. I remember really enjoying the movie, so I was like, $8 on 4K for this. I'm gonna rewatch it at least once. I don't think it's on any streaming services, at least at the moment. So I think it's a pretty good deal. I'm pretty happy with this pickup, it's still in the wrapping, as I said, but I will eventually rewatch it. And for those of you who haven't seen it, and you like a kind of like a current day Western style movie, I mean, I think that's the best way to describe it, current day Western. This is actually a pretty good movie. Next up is one of my favorite pickups that I got. And it's a steelbook, because it's the only steelbook I picked up, unless you want to count Band of Brothers. And that is Godzilla versus Kong. I watched this on HBO Max when it released, and I'm a big Godzilla fan. I've talked about that in some previous videos. I own all the Godzilla movies. I like this movie. Yeah, it's like, as far as some of the human stuff, it's pretty boring, and that's par for the course with these Godzilla movies. The last one, Godzilla King of Monsters, was kind of like that, where the human parts were the worst. I didn't think the humans were quite as bad in this one as they were in King of the Monsters. At least there's less characters than in those movies. But I like Godzilla versus Kong. I think they handled them fighting pretty well. Pretty much how it played out, exactly how I guessed it would. But I really like this steelbook. I like the colors on it. I am going to be setting up a new steelbook display back there, and I'm going to be doing a little video on it as I'm doing it. So this will be prominent on my new steelbook display back there. So like I said, I'm excited about the back. Even looks cool too. So yeah, this is definitely one of the better looking steelbooks, and I got this for $20. This was the 4K. I think that's pretty good. Like I said, it's $35, I think, regularly, so that's $15 off. Granted, I could have just got the 4K slip for like $10, so I basically spent double the money to get the steelbook, but I don't care because the steelbook looks great. Next up is a movie I haven't watched yet, but I am excited to check out, and that is Nobody. Yes. This has Bob Odenkirk, who, I mean, I know him mostly from Better Call Saul. He's been in other movies and other TV shows as well. But from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, that's primarily what I think of when I see Bob Odenkirk, especially nowadays. But there's also has Christopher Lloyd in it. And you don't know if you can tell from that poster, the Back to the Future poster behind me. It is signed by Christopher Lloyd. I have met Christopher Lloyd, and man, that guy's kicking it for for being as old as he is. He's still kicking it in movies, so that's awesome. I am looking forward to this. It's supposed to be a really good action movie. I haven't watched it yet, but I am looking forward to it. Next up is an upgrade, and that is Space Jam on 4K. The original Space Jam, I have zero interest in that new Space Jam with LeBron James. I've mentioned it before. It should have been Kobe Bryant, and it should have been 10 years earlier. They waited way too long to get a Space Jam sequel. I don't really matter. I don't think it really matters, because they're not going to recapture the kind of the fun and nostalgia and goofiness of the first movie. And the 4K, I've heard the visuals are a pretty nice upgrade. This is an upgrade for me. I did own the Blu-ray already, so pretty nice upgrade. There's a couple special features on here that were not on the Blu-ray, but as per usual, the special features on the 4K releases leave some to be desired. I feel like they could have done some more with it, but that's the way it goes these days. They aren't really spending a whole lot of time on special features, but I am looking forward to checking this out on my big screen and seeing how well the visuals hold up and the differences between this and the Blu-ray. Really good upgrade there. And next up is a trilogy of movies. I don't know if you can guess what trilogy it is. You know I already have Lord of the Rings trilogy, so it's not that. It is the original movies on 4K. Yes, I am a big fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars, the original movies in particular. Yes, every time they release it, they feel like they need to change something about it. And I own the Blu-ray set right here. The only reason why I didn't order the prequels was because I own them on Blu-ray, and I feel like that's fine. But I was curious about these because I do rewatch the originals fairly often, and I wanted to see the 4K and how it looks in comparison to the Blu-ray, which is the one I've been watching the most, obviously. And I've heard the 4K, the picture looks really good on these. Again, I've mentioned this before, but there is a YouTuber on here if you are curious about finding out about opinions on the actual picture quality of physical media releases, and his name's Jeff at Films at Home. His recommendations on a couple of these are the reasons why I was like, I think go ahead and it's worth getting. I only paid $12 each, which I think is a pretty good deal. I was disappointed that it didn't come with the slips. Normally, when you order through Best Buy, you get the slips, which is part of the reason why I like ordering through Best Buy, especially as opposed to Amazon, in which I've gotten some, I'm just going to call them bootleg copies. But usually if you order through Best Buy, you get the slips. I was kind of disappointed there was no slips. The art on these, it's okay. Again, could have been better. I feel like it would have been better if they would have went with the Drew Struzan art, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. As I said, I mainly got these for the picture quality. There are some extras on here. I think most of these extras are all the same extras that were on the Blu-ray. I don't think there's anything new. Don't quote me on that because I haven't verified, but that's most likely what the case is. Especially knowing Disney. So also, if you watch the 4K, if you have Disney Plus and you watch the 4K releases of these movies, I don't think you're really going to get the same feel as if you actually watch the actual physical media. I will say the only thing I'm really disappointed with was in the change they made to this one to again mess with the Han shot first Greedo, which has just continually got worse over the years. It just continually gets worse. Look, Han shot first. That's it. That's it. I own the VHS, and that's the way it went down. Okay. Yeah, they made Greedo say McClunky when he died just now. Whenever he gets shot, he says McClunky. What's that about? Like, that's so stupid. So yeah, outside of the changes that they've made to it, I am curious to check it out and watch it on 4K and see. I'm pretty sure it's going to be similar to a lot of the other 4Ks that have been released from older movies, in which there's going to be some digital noise reduction, which if I recall, it was something that Jeff said in his review. And sometimes I like the film grain and sometimes I don't, and I like having options. I mentioned that in my Lord of the Rings review. So I'm curious to check it out and see if any of you have already checked out the 4K. I'd be curious to what you guys think about it. So those are my pickups for Black Friday / Cyber Monday / weeks before Black Friday, because that's how they do Black Friday sales now. They're not even on Black Friday anymore. I think that's across the board with anything on Black Friday, but physical media in particular seems to be the way they're going. I guess we should be happy that they at least have any sales on physical media, because physical media section continues to dwindle at places like Best Buy. And unless you pre-order steelbooks, it's getting harder and harder to find any of them there. So regardless, I'm happy with my pickups. It's a smaller stack than what I normally get, but I'm really happy with a lot of these. A lot of these I'm actually looking forward to checking out. As I said, I didn't really need to fill out a whole lot of stuff in my collection this year because this year releases were fairly small. The only movie that I really wanted to pick up on Black Friday that I did not was Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. I still haven't seen the movie, but I want to watch the movie, and I was gonna buy it, and part of the reason I was holding out on Black Friday was I thought they'd have a good sale on it. The best sale they had was the 4K was $20 and the Blu-ray was $18. I don't view that as a very good deal. Yes, it's a newer movie, but still, that's not a very good deal for a Black Friday. So I was kind of disappointed with that. That's the only thing as far as that I was looking forward to, or waiting for Black Friday to pick up, that I wasn't able to. But outside of that, like I said, I'm pretty happy with the stack that I got. I'd be interested to see some of the things you guys picked up on Black Friday, if you guys were able to find anything. Because, you know, especially if you have a collection already, you're probably pretty set on what you want. And I'm not really sure if this was the best Black Friday to fill out collections with stuff that you were like holding out for, at least based on my experience. I do want to thank everybody who voted in my Christmas poll. It looks like Muppets Christmas Carol is in the lead, so Muppets Christmas Carol is definitely happening, and I think Jingle All the Way will be my number 2. And if I have time, I'd like to do a third or maybe even a fourth one. I do kind of want to do some Christmas movies, review some Christmas movies. It is the Christmas season, and I don't think I've really reviewed these movies properly or ever on my channel, so I think it'll be fun. I am looking forward to it. I took a long break from reviews for various reasons, and I was thinking about even doing a video kind of explaining in depth why I kind of segued away from reviews, because there's multiple reasons. And but for Christmas, I really want to do some reviews for Christmas, and I may even do a review for the Hawkeye series, or maybe some of the other Marvel series if you guys are interested in that. I don't know. Right now, I really like talking about physical media. That's part of the reason why that's the majority of what you're seeing on my channel. I really like doing it. I like talking about movies that maybe don't get talked about enough, and really just promoting physical media, because it's something I'm passionate about, and I do want to continue. So regardless, thank you to everyone who checked out this video. Thank you, subscribers, because you guys are awesome. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm G264, and I always tell you the truth.